Hey everybody, it's Mike from Fishing the Mid-South. Today we're going to test the strength of the dropper loop. And we're going to be using 20-pound Trilene big game mono and owner 1/0 Mutu light circle hooks. I will tell you that the way that we put these hooks onto the dropper loop, 1/0 is barely big enough for this 20-pound line to get through the eye. So the way you put it through is you go double through and then you loop it around like you would for a sinker. And the way the rig works is at the top end you'll have the swivel. You'll come down to a dropper loop, which this is. There's a tutorial on my channel. Then this empty end right now would be going to another dropper loop or to a sinker. But we're only interested in testing the strength of the dropper loop itself. So we don't care what happens on the swivel side or on the other end. And because of the way the knot is tied, it doesn't matter which end I put the swivel on because we're testing the loop in the middle. So without further ado, here comes pull number one. So what's happening is the dropper loop is moving down. You see that the number's not going up, but the dropper loop is moving. And I'm going to run out of space probably before I break the line. So that was interesting in and of itself. Not really a good valid test, but it was interesting to see that knot tighten up like that. So, I mean, it's a test. Whether we like the result or not, it's still a test. Get out my trusty dusty notebook here. Yeah, I should have this all figured out already, but that'd be too easy. $15.9, not just slipped. Okay, we get test number 2 on the rack here, and I'm not sure what I did with test number 1, so it's somewhere. I'll make sure we don't use it again, but if I pull it out, we'll see it. So based upon that test, and I have already pulled these tight, I'll do it once more just for giggles. And get the hook on there, and get this pulled back for test number 2. And this was with a 6/2 turn loop. We are going to test the number of turns in another video, but this is just the basic that everybody uses, 3 full turns or 6/2 turns. And we'll pull the pressure back off that and zero it out so we get a good reading. There we go. So that knot did not slip, but it did break right at the knot, which is where in my testing it's always broken, at 19.7 pounds. And once again, I threw the trash into the good pile. I gotta quit doing that. Okay. Grab test subject number 3. And run the puller back. If I sound like I've had a rough day today, I've had a rough day today. It's been one of those days. Okay. Zero that out. This side, we've got slack in the line. Test pull number 3. So this knot is once again slipping. You see it moving down the line here. 16.1. So what that's telling me is that 6 turns are not really enough. And you can see the bend in this hook. Let me go for one that has never been used and see how they line up after that pull. Easier said than done, right? There doesn't seem to be a huge change in the geometry. There's a little bit here in the back, but not a lot. See, that end sticks out just a little bit more. So 16.1, okay. And get test number 4 in the block. And this is why I do these tests, folks, because with any luck, I'll be going down to Florida for spring break and hopefully using some of these as pompano rigs. And knowing that that knot slips is important, because everybody that I watch tie this knot, that shows how to tie the knot down in the Pensacola area in the Gulf, shows using 5 turns. And as we've seen together, ain't necessarily the greatest number. Here we go with test number 4. Okay, so you heard a pop. This is the other end. So remember how it had 2 ends up at the knot? That is the other end. But the knot has, it's not failed enough that I've lost anything yet. So we're going to continue pulling. And you can see it's starting to pull through. So 19.9 is what we're going to get out of it. So that was interesting. So like I said, so there's the end that hangs off the back as it always did. So this part was actually around here. So it broke on the doubled side of the knot instead of the single side. So that was test 4. Let's get our hook out of the way here. And we'll pull in test 5 with 20-pound Trilene big game mono. On the hook here. Just too often easier said than done. Okay, we got plenty of slack. And test number 5. Okay, that broke. Didn't break at the swivel. The swivel's still intact. And this is the tag end, so it broke right at the top of the knot as it comes to the swivel at 18.0. So there are our 5 pulls. On 1 and 3, the knot slipped. And on the others, the knot broke in one way or another. So 15.9, 19.7, 16.1, 19.9, and 18.0. And from previous tests, we found that the Trilene Big Game Mono at 20-pound test breaks at around 28 pounds by itself. That's the actual line strength. So we're getting, I'd say, an average of, 2 pounds under the 20-pound rating out of this knot. It's not great. It's not a great result at all. I was hoping to be up in the 23s. But I also wanted to see if the way that the hook is put on there causes a break, and it did not, from running into, where the wire is wrapped around on itself there to create the hook eye. And there aren't a lot of other good dropper loops. There's like the triple surgeon's loop, which I actually have a video already up. I called it the Richard Jean knot because that was where I found it. I didn't realize it was called the triple surgeon's loop until after that. And then I saw another one called the butterfly knot, but it wasn't any stronger either when I tested it. So if you know of a better dropper loop knot, I am all ears. And I have tested it with more twists, and that didn't change the line breaking where this one did, but it will, of course, change the slipping. So those will come up to, in the anywhere between 18 and 20 range. So, without the knot slipping, we're looking at probably a 19-pound knot, roughly. Anyway, thanks for watching, folks. There's a playlist showing how to tie some of these knots, and there's also a playlist on knot testing strength. And we're going to be doing a lot of videos on knot strength testing. So please like, subscribe, and we will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.